roundabout now. So again, welcome to our public meeting to cover our 2022 action plan and the substantial amendment to the 2019 consolidated action plan. Boy, howdy. And then we'll also do an overview of the home ARP funds that we have coming our way. Next slide, please, Wyatt. So this is what our agenda is looking like for the evening. We will start out with an access note in just a second. Wyatt will show you all if you need interpretation in Somali, Spanish, Karen, or Nepalese.
I went over that.
You already went over it? Okay, then we won't do that in just a minute. We'll just show you our agenda. Then we will go over development projects and public services as presented by our community partners, and then go into the city managed rehabilitation programs that we offer and end with our homeless service providers. We're hoping to wrap up by 7 o'clock. So we're going to be on somewhat of a tight timeline. Here you can see the access note for our cart, the captions. We also have our ASL interpreter highlighted, spotlighted. You can also pin them to continue to see them throughout the meeting. And there are instructions on, again, those other interpreters. I'll give you a minute with this just to read through and do anything that you need to before we move forward. All right, Wyatt, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, throughout the night, we're going to have some opportunities for you to ask questions and provide comment. You'll see these slides show up. At any point, you can write something in the chat and we will see it. And we'll save those questions until we hit one of these question and answer slides. We will be collecting all of the most common questions and be able to hopefully condense them a little bit. And these questions will be put together for later viewing after the meeting. We will have public comment going on the 2022 action plan until February 27th. There are 3 ways to submit public comment, 4 ways. You can either do that here tonight. You can email hcdcomments@cityofomaha.org and email your feedback there. You can go to our 2022 action plan website, which if you received an email from me about this meeting, you have the link in that email, or else we will also send a follow-up email to this meeting to all attendees that will also include that link. Or you can send us some good old postal service mail through that same date. The 2019 substantial amendment is on an expedited public comment time because it has to do with CARES Act funds. So the comment period for that ends on February 1st. And you'll have to be a little speedier with getting that comment. But again, HCD comments at cityofomaha.org or the action plan website are probably your best routes for those comments outside of this meeting. You want to move ahead, Wyatt?
Walked away.
Oh, Wyatt just walked away.
He's really
Okay, so here's that information that I just covered. And we will make sure to cover it again in our email later. Wyatt, next slide.
He's trying to walk away to get to Marcus.
Okay, so for 2022 budget, these are approximately the budgets that we expect to have. The biggest example of, or the biggest group of funding and the most flexible is the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG. It's about 60% of the city's annual budget for community development. And we can spend it in a lot of ways, including in job creation and training, repairing homes and businesses, paying for community services, creating affordable housing, building infrastructure like streets, sidewalks, and sewers. The main goal of CDBG is to do community development and help people who make less money than others in Omaha with those very low income, or moderate income households. The Home Investment Partnership is more geared toward home construction and those construction activities. And then Emergency Solutions Grant, ESG, is for homeless services. We are estimating these numbers based on the amount of funding that we received from HUD in 2021. Because there hasn't been a budget approved by Congress yet for 2022, we don't know exactly how much money we're going to receive. However, funding has been relatively stable for the last several years, and we don't expect to see a big change this year. There's been no indication of that. Next slide. So for Community Development Block Grant, this is the approximate divisions that we will be seeing in this budget. And so,
That's the street stuff.
okay. The new construction single-family houses. I'm gonna. So we will talk about the programs that this is funding shortly. I do want to make one correction that for new construction, single family housing, we are not putting. Okay. That's because I'm on mute. I am so sorry about that.
How long has it been, Marcus?
Let's go back a slide, please.
Just to be sure, I'm going to be talking side by side with you. I'm going to be interpreting side by side. So in case if you hear somebody else's speak, it's okay to go ahead.
500,000 on the new construction for CDBG instead of the 50.
Yeah. Wyatt, can we go back a slide?
Go back to CDBG. Thank you.
There we go. Okay, so the new construction single family housing for CDBG should be $500,000, not 50. So we just missed a zero there. But these are the types of activities that we are undertaking with community development block grant funds, and we will look into
Okay, that how that how do you know?
each of those programs shortly. Next slide, please. Okay, home investment partnership. These are the types of activities that we are undertaking with home investment partnership funds. This is typically a smaller type of fund than CDBG and is more geared towards construction activities. So it really has a focus on building those new construction single family housing units and doing the rehabilitation. Housing placements is things like the tenant-based rental assistance program operated by the Omaha Housing Authority, which provides rental assistance to families or households for up to 2 years.
Home investment partnership no awe hinjale third key million that kind no again abaha wada la je papa no la awe he a follow pagati ro the sunny no je no the sunny awe papa no ha the sunny.
Can I have the next slide, Wyatt? Oh, did I not talk about ESG?
You did the first time. I don't know whether you still have.
So I'm so sorry. I was on mute and got lost where I was. Emergency Solutions Grant, we receive about $400,000 a year for this, and we can fund 5 types of activities outside of administration. We typically, because of the limits in the funding, want to make a substantial contribution to our grantees. So we fund shelter operations, HMIS, which is Homeless Management Information Services. It's basically the database that helps us keep track of who we're serving, what we're doing, and gives us all of our data. And then rapid rehousing, which gets people who are literally homeless into housing and provides rental assistance and services. Next slide, please. The first thing that we are really going to talk about is the substantial amendment to the 2019 action plan. This has to do with our CARES Act, and we have Alyssa from our department to talk about it. Alyssa, you want to go ahead?
Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. This is Alyssa Solachik. I'm a city planner for the Omaha Planning Department. And the substantial amendment that, when we talk about a substantial amendment kind of in general, that process occurs when there's a change to a previous annual action plan that consists of any action involving more than $400,000. So for tonight, we're looking at a substantial amendment to the 2019 action plan. And this amendment consists of 1.5 million in CDBG CARES Act funds that are reallocated together for the purchase of a non-congregate shelter. And as part of this process, which Nicole mentioned earlier, we do have a 5-day public comment period on the amendment, which started today and will run through January 31st. And lastly, just kind of a general schedule for this amendment. It will be reviewed by the planning board on February 2nd, and then the earliest it could be reviewed by the city council is March 1st, but the city council date has not yet been set. And we do have some additional information about the non-congregate shelter. So we can go ahead and transition over to that slide.
Here to talk about the non-congregate shelter project, we have Mike Hornichet from Together and Meredith Dillon from Front Porch Investments.
Thanks, Nicole. I'm up first. This is Meredith Dillon. I helped with last year's project, as Together was also a partner in that. We wanted to share some statistics about the hotels that were leased last year and operationalized for non-congregate shelter, which is emergency shelter for persons who are at higher risk of potentially contracting COVID based on some type of vulnerability, and also for folks that might not fit into current shelter situations in congregate shelter. And of the 278 individuals served, 42 exited to permanent housing, and 73 have not re-entered the homelessness system. I'm going to let you go ahead and read the demographics here. I won't read through those, but we did serve a higher number of persons that were identifying as disabled or were identifying as a race or ethnicity other than white or non-Latinx. And so we wanted to make sure to highlight that as well. And each household was characterized by at least one factor putting them at risk of homelessness. I'm going to turn it over to Mike Kornichek to talk about this year's program. Oh, and I will also end with leasing the hotels was very expensive. And because of the cost of leasing, we transitioned to a purchasing of a hotel to be used explicitly for non-congregate shelter.
Thanks, Meredith. Really excited to be able to operationalize the non-congregate shelter with cooperation with Front Porch Investments. Really quickly, eligibility and how referrals will work. The project is designed to prioritize individuals who are 65 years of age or older, or who have medical vulnerabilities or fragilities, such as lung disease, moderate to severe asthma, immunocompromised due to cancer treatments, for example. And referrals together will accept referrals based on the eligibility and prioritization set forth and from the following agencies or organizations. So traditional shelters, homeless service providers, community care organizations, OPD and OFD, City of Omaha, medical providers, school administrators, social workers, and veteran serving agencies and organizations. And I'll keep it short and sweet there so we could keep moving.
Thank you so much, Meredith and Mike. Does anyone have any questions that we can, or feedback that we can answer right now? All right, seeing none, we can move forward. Next slide, please. Next up, we have Home ARP, which I get to talk about all by my lonesome. Home ARP are funds that were part of the American Rescue Plan. There were $5 billion allocated through that to providing housing and supportive service for people who are exiting homelessness or who are the nearest to homelessness in our community. So Omaha received $8.2 million, and we will share some of that with Council Bluffs as we are in what's called a consortia. So we share funds because we're so close together and our communities really overlap. I have 3 links here that I believe are on our 2022 action plan website. And if not, they're all on our website at planninghcd.cityofomaha.org. We have had several engagement meetings going forward so far. And the first of those was on October 29th, where we gave a fairly in-depth overview to the home program, or the Home ARP program. Those slides and recordings are available on the website. If you're interested in learning a much more detailed, in case you're getting interested in getting much more detailed on Home ARP. I've also got a link to the HUD notice, which will tell you about all of the requirements and ways that it can be used. Next slide, please, Wyatt. Home ARP has 4 main eligible activities. They are new construction or rehabilitation of housing units, new construction or rehabilitation of non-congregate emergency shelter, rental assistance, and supportive services. these are the four main activities that we are in the process of determining what we will do with the funds. These funds are targeted at very specific groups of people. There are four main ones. These are very broad definitions that are here, and they get quite technical. So I have, that's why I've included the slides and notices in the emails. What we're doing right now is the engagement process. So we are meeting with service providers, people who currently are or have in the last 5 years experienced homelessness, a lot of the frontline workers, and then also developers who might be interested in working to provide housing through these funds. We're expecting to have a draft implementation plan available for comment in March as part of the CAPER public hearing on March 15th. Next slide, please. So here's the list of people that we've met with. OHA is one of the biggest groups we'd like to meet, or we're working to meet with, that we haven't yet, as one of the ways that we can leverage our funds is through the use of Section 8 vouchers as rental assistance. So having a set aside of those vouchers for people who are exiting homelessness could be really helpful in using our funds wisely. Next slide, please. Do you have any questions? If you have anything you'd like to add or comments you'd like to make or questions, you can email or reach out to me. I will put my email in the chat. I'm particularly interested in hearing from anyone who has recently or is currently experiencing homelessness. Hearing none. Next question. Slide.
I can take it from here. Thank you, Nicole. My name is Mariana Forel. I'm a neighborhood planner with the City of Omaha. Here to talk with you about the Choice Neighborhood Planning and Action Grant in South Omaha. So $540,000 in community development block grant funds will be used to connect Y Street from South 30th Street to South 32nd Avenue. So the two visuals I have on my slide is the one in the left is the boundary area of the Choice Neighborhood Planning and Action Grant. And the slide to the right is a zoom in at basically 32nd and Y in the study area, in the area where this block grant funds will go, and a rendering of the street. As you can see, there's a vacant lot to the north of where this street will go. So completing a street will allow mixed income homes to be built on these vacant lots. And this will be in support of the Choice Neighborhood Planning and Action Grant that was awarded to the City of Omaha, Omaha Housing Authority, and Canopy South in 2019. Happy to take any questions in the question section, and I can put my email in the chat as well. Thank you.
Up next, we have the 75 North Revitalization Corporation, and we have Sydney Franklin here to speak to their project. Is someone here to speak to the 75 North project? Okay, it seems like we do not have our representative for the 75 North Revitalization Corporation. So I am gonna let you read that slide, and Mariana, if you have anything you'd like to add as our neighborhood planner who works on Choice Neighborhoods grants, I'm happy to let you talk.
I can add a little to that. So 75 North is a partner for a Choice Neighborhood Implementation Grant in a study area on North 30th Street. This funding in this action plan is going to be used, it's about $1 million, a little over $1 million for new construction and rehabs for residential homes. 4 of them will be new homes. 3 of them will be rehabbing homes that are currently in the area. All of the homes will be available for sale through Family Housing Advisory Services home ownership program. It's very, all geared towards neighborhood revitalization in the 75 North Highlander neighborhood. Feel free to email me about that as well.
No, it's rehab of 3.
Looks like this slide is showing the 3 residential units on 30th and Corby Street that are going to be rehabbed. And since we've spent some time on this already, if you go to the next slide, these are the new homes that will be, I believe these are the new homes that will be built on 29th and Parker Street area. 3-bedroom homes, unfinished basements. If anyone is interested in owning these homes, they can go through the Family Housing Advisory Services home ownership program, but contact either that group or 75 North at the information below. Again, I'm also happy to make a connection. Thank you.
All right, does anyone have any questions on the Choice Neighborhood Planning Grants and activities associated with those? I do believe that instead of contacting FAS, Family Housing Advisory Services, you might want to contact Omaha 100, which works closely with FAS. Okay, seeing no questions, we will move on to the efforts of JSU Housing, and we have Dale Barr here to give you an overview of what they do.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dale Barr, Executive Director of JSU Housing. Briefly, we've been building homes in the Holy Name Clifton Hill area, which is roughly 45th Street to 38th, Maple to Burdette, for the last 20 years. We've built 70 homes and vacant lots in that area. We have a website that'll probably bring you up to speed on what we've done and who we are and where we came from. Our plan for 2022 is to move to an area around 18th and Grant Street. And I can't tell you how many lots that we're asking for, because right now those lots don't meet the city's minimum requirement for width. So we're having it replatted. But what we normally do is build anywhere between 5 and 10 homes a year. And the city provides a $100,000 construction loan funded by HUD and home funds, excuse me. And at the sale of the home, then we pay back the city the $100,000. The buyer of the home has to qualify for a $68,000 mortgage through a bank or some financial institution. The city then gives a second mortgage at 0% interest for $60,000, and they purchase the home from Jesu Housing for $128,000, which gives them a house payment in the $600 to $700 area. And what has happened with that goal, if you will, is of the 70 families that are in our homes, not one has moved out in 20 years because they can afford the home. The map you're seeing right now on the slide are the homes we've built in the Holy Name area. So as I mentioned, we're going to move east to 18th and Grant area. And as soon as we get that replatted, we'll be able to determine how many homes we'll be able to build. But in short, this has been a very successful plan. And with the help of Pat Evans from the city and Jerry Dantzler and Carlene from Omaha 100, we've been able to make this a very successful effort to get people into homes, and it has revitalized and stabilized that neighborhood.
All right, next up we have Matthew Kavanaugh from Holy Name Housing to talk about some of their projects.
Hi, yes. So yeah, I'm just focusing on our home fund, our city home fund funded project, if that's all right. I thought that was the assignment. So, but good to be with everybody this evening. I'm Matthew Kavanaugh, Executive Director of Holy Name Housing. Again, similar to Jesu, a 40-year history in North Omaha, developing affordable housing. We do mostly rental housing. Currently, we do development, construction, and management of affordable rental housing. This project here, our city funded home fund project for 2022, will be breaking ground this spring on what we're calling our East Side bungalows. So this is 25 units at 2 different locations. You can go to the next slide if you wish. It just a little layout there of the 2 locations, 1620 Clark and 18th and Ohio. So 12 units at 1620 Clark and 13 units at 18th and Ohio. They're bungalow style homes, so they are built for seniors and 30% reserved for people with physical disabilities. They'll be affordable to folks under 60% of the area median income. So that's about $682 a month in rent plus utilities. They'll all be the same, 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, single car garage. And so being financed with low-income housing tax credits, and then a $475,000 in city home funds. So I'm happy to answer any questions or put them in the chat, and I'll be here for a while. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Matthew. Next up, we've got Mike Mulroney here to talk about the Larimore Building.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, just want to be sure. The Larimore Building is located at 3483 Larimore Avenue. It is a building that was part of Emmanuel Hospital when it was located on Ames Street before it moved out to 72nd. We acquired the building a few years ago. It is on the historic register, It's a 45,000 square foot facility that will be repurposed to provide supportive and independent living residence for seniors who are 62 and older with very low and low moderate incomes and seniors with access needs. There'll be 42 one-bedroom units, 3 two-bedroom units. The building currently houses community space that's a restored historic theater, or we will restore a historic theater. It'll have a computer and service provider rooms. The service provider rooms would be offered by social service agencies, 2 social agencies in the community. Formerly, the Emmanuel Dickens Nurses Dorm is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and we have completed both the Part 1 and the Part 2. It will be coupled with city CDBG and home funds, along with low-income housing tax credits, historic credits, both state and federal. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Mike. Next up, we have Katrina Adams we'll get to the questions in the chat in a couple of slides here. As soon as we've got this one last one, and then we'll answer the questions in the chat. So Katrina Adams with the former Native Omaha Club building.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Katrina Adams, and I'm representing the NOC redevelopment group. We received $250,000 in CDBG public services funding to renovate the former Native Omaha Club building at 24th and Laird Street. This 2-story mixed-use development is going to feature residential units on the 2nd floor and commercial space on the 1st floor, including offices, community meeting space, and a restaurant. You can learn more about this project at www.nocomaha.com. And you can also email us at info@nocomaha.com.
Thank you so much, Katrina. We don't have a question slide here, but as we transition into the city operated programs, I think that now is a good time for us to do that. I see that Mariana and Matthew are both answering the question about how many homes in these neighborhoods are going to be ADA accessible. I don't have that answer at my fingertips. And then I believe that the idea is that the Larimore building will remain on the historic register post renovation.
You can have Mike and Matt answer the ADA.
Yeah, but Mike, will you talk about that historic register? And also, can you talk about the ADA compliance at the Larimore building?
It will actually, we'll achieve the Part 3 of the historic designation. As far as the ADA, there are some federal requirements, and we're committed to meeting those federal requirements. And I do believe it's 5% of the total units have to be ADA compliant. And we will be.
Can you speak to the ADA compliance, or did I just miss that?
Well, I thought I just did.
Well, no, I just missed it because I was asking.
Oh.
This is Dale Barr with Jesu Housing. If we build on a flat lot, we build our new 3-bedroom homes as accessible.
Dale, does that mean 0 entry, or can you elaborate on that a bit more?
0 entry.
And Matthew says in the question and answer that 30% of the 25 units that they are building at Holy Name Housing, so 8 units in total, will be fully accessible, and all 25 will be visitable. Do we have any other questions right now before we move on? Okay, seeing none, we are going to have Michelle come over here to talk about our rental rehabilitation program.
Good evening, everyone.
Just to say a little bit about rental rehabilitation program. I'm sorry. You have to be an investor with a vacant property in the North Omaha or Douglas County, City of Omaha area. 1 to 4 unit residential rental rehabilitation, the City of Omaha, Douglas County boundaries. All state, federal, student loan and assessment liens must be current. You can't owe any back taxes or anything on these properties. The property has 1 or more standard condition with federal or city ordinance. Property owner cannot be a city employee. Sorry, employees. Property will or has to have insurance, minimum of fire. Investor owner willing to be able to match the rehabilitation of the investment. You do not have to match the lead or the radon. We have changed the amounts to go with the increase in cost in building. So 1 bedroom, you can get up to $20,000 on the rehab part. 2 bedroom, $21,000. 3 bedroom, $22,000. A 4 bedroom, up to $30,000. That does not include being able to add lead. If you're adding assistance for the handicap unit or radon, those are additional to those rehab dollars. If you have any questions, you are very welcome to give me a call or can you put mine?
Yeah, I will put Michelle's email in the chat. What's that?
City of Omaha, North and South Omaha.
So it's anywhere within the city boundaries. Okay, next up we have Jim Clements to talk about the urban homestead with Project Houseworks.
Hello, this is Jim Clements with Project Houseworks. I'm Deputy Director here, and thanks for having us this evening. Our overall focus as an organization, we're a nonprofit based here in Omaha, is the preservation of quality, affordable housing in our community. And so one of the ways we try to address that is under our home affordability program, which was really started because of the funding we've been able to receive through the City of Omaha through this urban homestead funding. And so what this particular funding would do and what we've used it for over the last couple of years is for the purchase, rehab and resale of single family homes east of 72nd Street. So it usually ends up being in neighborhoods. Maybe it's the one house on a block that needs improvement. The program's designed to improve home ownership, to revitalize neighborhoods and improve our naturally occurring affordable housing stock. For home buyers that are interested in purchasing one of these homes, they can connect with Omaha 100, where they can get a first mortgage, and then the City of Omaha through this program will provide a second mortgage that's forgivable. A portion of it's forgivable after 15 years. It's meant for persons that are 80% AMI and its families, or it can be single moms or older couples. And so it's anyone that's at that 80% AMI. If we want to flip to the next slide, we can talk about the CDBG funding that is also. So another way that we tried to preserve housing in the community is through our senior programming, and specifically here with our roof repair and replacement. We started getting funding in 2016 from the City of Omaha. Since then, we've been able to replace 50 roofs in the community. We've focused on this program primarily on seniors that are aged 60 and older that are 50% AMI. And through this program, we're able to keep seniors safe and warm and in their homes as long as possible, and also preserving the home for them, their families, and the community. If anyone has any questions or want further information, there's our contact number there as well as our website, and we're always happy to answer any questions or as needed. So thank you for the opportunity to talk about our programs here this evening.
Thank you so much, Jim. Next up, we have the homeownership counseling program through Family Housing Advisory Services, and I believe Donna McFadden is here to speak.
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Donna McFadden, and I'm the program director for the homeownership program, a program of Family Housing Advisory Services, also known as FAS. On behalf of our executive director, Teresa Hunter, and the board of directors, we want to say thank you to the city for partnering with us. Okay, we can go to the next slide. We have 3 locations where we carry out our services. 2 of them are located in Omaha and 1 in Council Bluffs. We are seeing clients in our offices, but it's by appointment only due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, FAS provides the following services. We can go to the next slide. FAS provides the following services to low to moderate income households who are participating in the city-sponsored housing program. Our pre-purchase education is a monthly HUD certified workshop that covers the home buying process. Our post-purchase workshop is a quarterly HUD certified workshop that covers after the home purchase topics such as what does it mean to have equity in the home, insurance coverage, do I have enough insurance, how to budget, utilities, making your home energy efficient. So those are some of the topics that are covered in our post-purchase education. And our foreclosure prevention services are for current homeowners who are in jeopardy of losing their home to foreclosure because of missed mortgage payments. Our financial education is also a HUD certified workshop that we have monthly, and it covers budgeting and credit. Our one-on-one counseling is provided to all clients who schedule an appointment, and all of our counselors who work with our clients one-on-one have all passed the HUD certification exam. Our follow-up counseling is provided to all clients who are currently working with a counselor. And we also develop action plans in our one-on-ones with our clients. And this helps our clients to stay on track with their goals. From time to time, we will have available financial assistance to help our foreclosure prevention clients who are in jeopardy of losing their home. Now, these dollars do not come from CDBG funds, but they are funds that we have been able to raise through other sources, but we are able to use these funds to help participants in the city-sponsored housing program. If you have any questions for me about any of our services, I will put my contact information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Donna. Next up, we have Jerry Dantzler with the Homebuyer Financing Program through Omaha 100.
Hello and good evening. I'm Jerry Dantzler. I'm a part of the homeownership team of Omaha 100. The executive director is Teresa Hunter. The deputy executive director is Melinda Williams. The mission of Omaha 100 is to provide housing and finance related services and capital to facilitate neighborhood revitalization and housing opportunities for low to moderate income populations. Omaha 100 is a community development financial institution. We're certified by the U.S. Department of Treasury as a loan fund. Now, Omaha 100 is a partner of the city of Omaha to provide underwriting services. What we do is we qualify applicants that are trying to receive down payment assistance to purchase homes. For example, with Jesu Housing, their bar had spoken, we qualify the applicants for the city grant funds, and also we provide the first mortgage financing for those. And then in 2022 here, we will be also working with Jesu Housing, Project Houseworks, and also 75 North with that. Other services that we do provide is mortgage financing as a whole, construction loan financing. We have a program called Access to Assets, where we assist applicants that are trying to purchase but have some credit issues, and we do some debt consolidations in order to speed up that process. Also, we provide down payment assistance from the Federal Home Loan Bank that assists with their entry costs with that. And also, we do provide technical assistance, also as consultation services to our applicants and also to other entities. Omaha 100 is a CDFI. What we do is we help applicants that can't traditionally go to a bank or a lender. Okay, and also we just want to, and I just want to say on behalf of the staff, also and the board, we thank the city of Omaha for being a great partner with us. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat.
Thank you so much, Jerry. It looks like the website provided here is not working. So could you provide us with a more up-to-date?
You know what, that is our website. For some reason, something happened to it today. So, but that is the correct website address.
Thank you so much. Okay, next up we have Willie Barney and John Jackson with Step Up Omaha.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, on behalf of the Empower Network, I want to say thank you to the city planning, and specifically Pat Evans, who's been working with us for many years. Step Up Omaha, this is our 15th year. I do want to introduce our new director, John Jackson, who is on the line with us. He'll be doing this presentation in the future. We have grown over the years and served over 7,000 youth in the Step Up Summer Jobs and Youth Program for Employment and Entrepreneurship. You can go to the next slide. Our goal this year is to reach 1,000 youth. The program encompasses internships, entrepreneurship. We have really focused a lot on STEAM and growing, helping our young people understand business, going from concept to actually creating products and services, also doing STEAM, drones, construction, and other work. Next slide. The main thing I want to make sure everyone is aware of, the application for Step Up 22 is already open. So at stepupomaha.com, we're already taking applications from around the city. It started as a North Omaha focused program, has expanded to South as well as citywide. In 2019, we had the highest number of youth that we've ever had. This was pre-pandemic, where we served 700 youth, connecting them with career exploration, internships, and job training opportunities. So have any questions that you may have, please let us know. You can reach out to myself or John Jackson. I do want to say, I'm not sure if John wants to just say hello to the team.
Sure. Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me on. Appreciate the introduction, Willie. Yes, please reach out to us if you have any questions. And our Step Up website is updated, as Willie has alluded to. So we're ready for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Willie and John. Next up, we have Albert Varas with Latino Center from the Midlands and their Workforce Education and Innovation Initiative.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert Varas. I'm with the Latino Center of the Midlands. It's a tremendous privilege to be with everyone this afternoon and to be having this conversation. And I think appropriately, you know, we're following the Step Up program, which we're in the following in their footsteps. The Step Up program has done amazing work over its course, and the Latino Center has learned a lot through being part of them, and then now going off into our own. In our third year of our internship program for 2022, we're looking at hiring 80 young people to work in 5 different career areas. Those career areas are urban agriculture, are health sciences, construction, multimedia, and the final one is a partnership with the Nebraska Hispanic Chamber, where young people who don't fit into the 4 other career areas, where they are placed in one of the partner businesses with the Nebraska Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Young people need to be 16 to 21 years old and be able to reliably get to work on time every day. Our recruitment approach is working not only with students within the Latino Center, but also with students that are participating in other after-school programs and through other and with other nonprofit organizations. And, you know, just to, if we can click on the next slide. These are our 5 internship programs, and then the following one. And this is just some information. you know, everybody has this slide, so I'm not going to go into it. I'd like to use the rest of my time to kind of share what the current application pool looks like. We opened our applications at the beginning of the year, and so far we've received 175 applications, 75 of which are female, 62% which are Latino, 85% which are free and reduced lunch, 20% which are ELL, English language learners, and 14 of them are return interns, which is really exciting to continue to work with students and build the bench for future, hopefully, staff members. 138 students are enrolled in high school, 17 are enrolled in college, 25 are high school seniors. And when we were looking through the data and we asked a question about household languages, I was blown away by all of the different languages that are spoken by our interns. I like to say a few of them. Spanish is the obvious one, but also Nepali, Karen, Karenni, Rawan, Arabic, Hindi. So it kind of shows a representation of the young people that we're trying to work with. Us being the Latino Center of the Midlands, we have a great affinity for the immigrant population, and that extends to folks definitely outside of the Latino community. One of the tidbits on the graph is, or on the slide is, to show the visual representation of CDBG dollars and how we are leveraging other resources in order to do this incredible work. So yeah, we're very grateful to be in this partnership. We're excited for 2022, and we have another partner in that already presented in Project Houseworks. We're excited to work with them this year and in building, hopefully, or helping renovate 5 homes through our construction internship program. So stay tuned. There's a lot of good work coming ahead.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have New Life Family Alliance with Aban Law and Dr. John Else.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aban Law. I'm the executive director for New Life Family Alliance. Unfortunately, John is not feeling well today, so he's quarantining home. So sorry for inconvenience. Anyway, New Life Family Alliance is funded in 2013, but we come to operation in 2018, just right before the pandemic. And we have a variety of services, but we are putting here the most services we are focusing on. The first one is the juvenile case, the juvenile services, which is we are working with a variety of juvenile justice agencies and institutions like Nebraska Juvenile Probation, Juvenile Court, Douglas County Juvenile Assessment, Douglas County Juvenile Detention Center, Juvenile, Nebraska Juvenile Prison. And the goal is to work with the youth and the community to understand the effectiveness of the agencies, and also to make specific goals for the youth to move forward successfully. We have also employment services, and we have employment services. We had the client with their application, unemployment application and reapplication, and we help them with the job search, and we help them with training, referral, and financial assistance, like CDL and Metro Community Options program over there. The other program also we are helping the client with is the immigration services, and we do a lot of things. We have the citizenship classes. We have application for visas and passport. We have replacement of the alien cards and those who need to require for birth certificate and all, etc. The other program we are doing is an interpretation. We're doing interpretation and translation for a variety, almost for 64 languages, which is the languages of South Sudan. And we're doing also the English as a second language, ESL, and we're doing native languages also. And the last thing is the general services. which is include housing, DHHS forms, and social security application and adjustment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have the Way to Work program from the Salvation Army with Marianne Slack.
Hello, my name is Marianne, and I am the program coordinator for the Way to Work program. The Way to Work program, we help homeless individuals find employment. We provide 90 days of employment where they're employed by the Salvation Army, but we work at various parks throughout the city. We help with individualized case management for each of our program participants. We assist each program participant with creating and updating their resume. We assist them with filling out applications, transportation to interviews, and job coaching once they are employed. Our 90 days of employment, we offer them 4 days of employment, and they get 22 hours a week. So this grant is helping us expand the program. We've doubled in the number of clients we're serving and doubled in the amount of time. They previously only got 11 hours per week, and now they'll get 22. And my contact information is on the slide.
Thank you so much. Next up is Deshauna Young with that tenant-based rental assistance program through Omaha Housing Authority that I mentioned earlier.
Good evening, everyone. I will be talking about the Transitional Housing Voucher Program with the Omaha Housing Authority. The Omaha Housing Authority Rental Assistance Program serves as a valuable component for people who have experienced homelessness. The Omaha Housing Authority receives $400,000 annually in home funds to provide rental assistance to low-income households. It's mainly targeted for formerly homeless persons graduating from transitional programs and persons with disabilities. Rental assistance through the home program is limited to 2 years. Next slide, please. Eligible participants are sent to the Omaha Housing Authority by approved transitional housing service providers. They refer the individual or the families to the Omaha Housing Authority. To participate, tenants must be low-income households. This means that they have a gross annual household income of 60% or less of the median income. Income of participating tenants must be verified before assistance is provided and re-examined annually thereafter. Income limits are established by the household size. Applicants are provided a housing voucher to find decent, safe, and affordable housing. The property must meet Section 8 housing quality standards. OHA will pay the subsidy to the property owner, and the tenant will pay 30% of their income to the property owner. Next slide, please. My contact information, Deshauna Young, Transitional Housing Coordinator, Omaha Housing Authority. My email is dyoung@oauthority.org. My phone number is 402-444-4200, extension 2205. The fax is 402-444-7543. And our address is located at 1823 Harney Street, Omaha, Nebraska 68102. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me and I will help you to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deshauna. All right, we have time for more questions. So if you've got anything for us, we'll give you a beat to get them in the chat. Okay, seeing none, let's move on to our city programs. And I'm sorry, I thought we were doing our city program earlier. or we did one earlier, but we're at it now. So we have these 6 city programs, and I believe that Wyatt Toole is going to speak on all of them. Go ahead, Wyatt.
Hello. Yes, I'll be speaking on our city rehabilitation programs. The ones we have available are the exterior rehabilitation program, the energy conservation healthy homes program, emergency repair program, home accessibility program, lead hazard control program, and the handyman program. Beginning with the exterior rehabilitation program, this is a program where we do repairs and improvements to the a home's exterior and the property as well. It is for homeowners living east of 72nd Street that are moderate to low income. We plan to do, the goal is to do 11 units for 2022 budget. A lot of the things that construction improvements that we do for that can be anything on the house itself or the property itself. So that can be things like repairing roofs, fixing porches and decks, improving entryway doors, replacing them if they're in bad shape, same thing with windows and siding. Also, some foundation work and concrete work like driveways and sidewalks can be done along with retaining walls. Next is the Energy Conservation Healthy Homes Program. For this one, it's basically doing minor energy and health and safety improvements to a home that is for homeowners living east of 72nd Street as well. The goal for this program is to do 30 units for the 2022 budget. So for this one, we can do the typical improvements we do are things like storm doors, storm windows, getting attic insulation if it needs some extra, kitchen and bathroom flooring if they're in bad shape, installing handrails, and doing minor wall repair. So it can go beyond those items, but those are the typical ones that we do and improvements along those lines. Next is the emergency repair program. This one is for critical repairs that threaten the health and safety and welfare of very low income households. Anybody that lives within the Omaha city limits that is a homeowner is eligible for this program. The goal for this one is 33 units. And for this program, the repairs that can be done are actually pretty specific. So can be done for heating systems like furnaces. So if the furnaces are not working or are broken completely, those can be fixed or replaced. Same with water heaters as well. And what's a little bit less are the exterior water line services and electrical services that are on the exterior of a home. What we used to be known as the barrier removal program, we've now changed to the home accessibility program. The function is the same, just changed the name because we thought it would actually communicate a little bit better what the program does. So this is to help make homes accessible for people with disabilities. Again, is eligible for anybody who lives within the Omaha city limits and could benefit from improvements that will make it more accessible for someone who has disabilities. 11 units is the goal for this program. What can be done, the focus is mainly getting in and out of the home and being able to use a bathroom independently. So that can consist of wheelchair ramps, platform lifts, stair lifts, roll-in showers, grab bars, handrails, and what are called walker steps, which are basically steps that have a deeper tread and a smaller riser, where somebody who is using a walker can easily use those steps more independently than normal steps. Next is the lead hazard control program. So as we all know, lead hazards, especially from lead paint, is a danger to and a health hazard to our community, especially for young children. So this program can help eliminate or stabilize lead-based paint hazards and other lead-related hazards for single and multifamily residences. So the priority is for homes in the Superfund area, and that is generally east of 42nd Street within Omaha. On our website, if you go to our housing construction tab and then go under for homeowners or for renters, you will see some, or our lead hazard pages, you will see some a map of that Superfund area. And the priority is also geared towards households with children that have already tested high for high lead levels, high blood lead levels. And if those, especially for homes with children that are age 6 or under, they don't have to actually live in the home. If they're, say it's a grandparent's house and the grandparent is watching those children on a regular basis, then that household can qualify as well. Finally is our handyman program. This program provides minor repair and maintenance services for homeowners within the Omaha city limits that are age 60 or older. This program does a lot of units. So right now we have a plan goal of 500. What they can do is minor maintenance and repairs. So typical things would be things like door repairs, repairing the door or swapping the doors out, very minor plumbing, interior painting, repairing of wooden stairways, and a minor wall repair. It is based on a little bit of a sliding scale, so depending on the homeowner's income will determine whether that they will pay for any materials or not. That information, again, can be found on our website.
Thank you, Wyatt. The demolition program, Autumn, are you here? Okay, I can talk about the demolition program. So,
Okay, that's all right.
So every year the city participates in a demolition program. We use CDBG funds to pay for the demolition of structures that have severe code enforcement issues. We focus these efforts in our NRSAs, neighborhood revitalization strategy areas, and this is to do blight elimination. Code enforcement works with the community development division to identify some buildings that might qualify under our funds for demolition. And the goal is always to make these lots rebuildable so that we're not just leaving empty lots. We also have funding in our CDBG budget to pay for one building inspector every year. Code inspector, I'm sorry. To make sure that we have homes in the NRSAs, especially, they focus in the NRSAs, so that we're making sure that those complaints can get addressed in a more timely manner. If you have questions about either of these programs, you can call the Permits and Inspections Division of the Planning Department. Their phone number is 402-444-5350. Next slide, please, Wyatt. Okay, we're to another question time, so get those in the chat. Christy Crosby has a chat here. How would a homeowner apply for improvement programs? We have that application and contact information on our website, Christy. I can put the link to it in the chat. And you'll be talking with Joyce Stevens, is our staff member that works on those programs. Thank you, Wyatt. Wyatt put that in the link to our programs in the chat. Itzel, I believe that we have these flyers also in Spanish, and if we don't have it now, we're working on it.
Our brochures?
Our brochures.
Yes, they're being translated.
They're being translated now. Anonymous attendee asks, if you want to put your email in the chat, Itzel, we can get you a copy of those or keep ourselves notified to send you one when the translation is complete. Thank you. An anonymous attendee asks, how does one report properties that perhaps need to be demolished? You can use the city's app, the Omaha mobile app, to making sure that that is the correct name on the app, where you can report code violations, and then a code inspector will go out and check on it. You're not going to necessarily be reporting that it should be demolished, but you can report the code violations there. You can also call the code enforcement program at, I believe, we'll find the code enforcement phone number and put it in the chat. Yeah, you can also call 402-444-5150. I'm putting that in the chat.
Put in 9.
Put in 9.
And put in Scott.
And then ask for Scott Lane, who's the code enforcement director. So you can call that number and ask for code enforcement, and you'll get transferred, or hit 9 and find Scott Lane. Anything else at the moment? Randy says, hope I got all this info. However, do you have a recap or directory of all this great information? And Randy, this recording will be available on YouTube and our website. And then we will also, I believe, be posting the slides to the website as well. They're already there. All right.
You want to see the action plan website?
Oh, and of course, we also have our action plan website, which is, I believe, on an earlier slide, and it's linked on our homepage. Oh, Marcus has it in the chat. And you can also submit comment and feedback on this meeting on that website. All right, got anything else for us at this moment? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to our last section. Our last section is going to cover the ESG funds, that's Emergency Solutions Grant. And we're going to kick it off with HMIS. HMIS is operated in Omaha or administered by ICA, the Institute for Community Alliances, and I believe Gary Wickering is here.
I am. Thank you very much, and good evening, Omaha. Yes, my name is Gary Wickering, and I'm a director here at the Institute for Community Alliances. Our institute has been around over 30 years, working with homeless management information, and I have counterparts in over 14 states and over 30 what are called continuums of care. That's including both rural and metropolitan areas. I support 3 full-time staff in Omaha with various streams of funding, including Continuum of Care, Nebraska Homeless Assistance Program, as well as the Emergency Solutions Grant and the COVID Emergency Solutions Grant, which allowed us to add that 3rd full-time staff member that we desperately needed. The Homeless Management Information System can do and does many things. It is a federally mandated repository for the homeless management information for all of the funded projects, including ESG. The major reporting that we do are things like the annual point in time, which happened just this Tuesday in Omaha and Council Bluffs, the system performance measures, and the longitudinal system analysis, which is a lot of fancy ways of saying that we look at the performance results of all of the homeless information that is entered by emergency shelters, transitional housing, rapid rehousing, and permanent supportive housing to see how the system is going, how the current initiatives are responding. Are the numbers going up and down? How are the outcomes for the clients? We can then provide visualizations to help support that. We have also fulfilled some custom reporting. For example, we have done a racial disparity work to take a look at things like that, as well as to look at individual subpopulations. Next slide, please. Thank you. So to just kind of, again, for the sake of time, to summarize many of the things we do, some of the featured things is the point-in-time tools that, again, just this Tuesday were used to go out into the 2-degree weather to interview the well over 100 individuals that were sleeping in that situation that night. We provided an online tool that could that outreach workers could use their phones. That helps also in time of obviously COVID, as does our online learning management system that we've developed over this last year and a half. It allows us to deliver training to shelter workers on their schedule, meaning 24 hours a day, so they can do it on their shift, overnight, what have you, and it allows for COVID mitigation. So we do not have to gather outreach workers together. And we also help with the continuum of care, as well as others in their funding competition by providing performance reports. We support the coordinated entry system, again, and we have a lot of other things available, and you can see some of those on our website, which I have provided the link here. It's icalliances.org, and to see the Omaha specific data, you would go /Omaha CB, because it is Omaha Council Bluffs, and that's how we did our URL. Is the data analysis made public, or are for organizations for research purposes, was a question that I saw in the chat. Yes, the data, most of our data is publicly available. These are federal reports, so they're often published by the federal government as well. We have several of those reports, including the point in time and the system performance measures on our website, and you can go out and view it. And also any other data reports. We have several case studies on our website, so you can see what we've done in other communities with our funding. And again, see some of that. Hopefully we can maintain that online learning management system once the CV money ends this coming September. I believe that's it. Any other questions? I didn't see any in the chat. In that case, I am the ASL interpreter, and I'm doing a great job.
Thank you, Gary. Just a note on that PIT, the point in time count this week, we're certainly seeing an increase in the number of individuals staying outside in our community. And at the last count through the HMIS data, not that they counted on Monday, but there were 282 people currently staying in an unsheltered or enrolled in street outreach, which means they're at least part-time unsheltered. So that's not an indicator we love to see in our community, but we're grateful for our providers. So next up, Wyatt, if you would change the slide, we have Sienna Francis House, our only low barrier shelter in the city. And we have Michelle Bovier here to speak to that. Well, Michelle must have left, so I can talk through some of these a little bit. So the Sienna Francis House, why don't you go to the next slide? Santa Francis House has our largest shelter capacity in the community with 360 beds for men and 104 for women, and those are in separate dorms. Oh, Michelle is here. She was unmuted and speaking. I'm sorry, Michelle, we could not hear you. Do you want to give it another go? Michelle, we still can't hear you. Do you want me to speak for now? And you are unmuted. I can see that. Do you want to go back, leave the meeting and come back in, and we'll see if that fixes the issue? And in the meantime, we can jump forward a few slides to the Stevens Center. All right. Mike, are you here to talk about Stevens Center?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you.
All right. As you can see, Stevens Center partners with the community, families, individuals to overcome homelessness, addiction, and poverty. Stevens Center does that by providing emergency shelter, a state licensed addiction recovery program right here on campus. And then we also have a OHA funded permanent supportive housing project where individuals and families could spend a little bit more time getting to the root cause of what brought them to homelessness and addiction. For the purpose of today, next slide, please. I'm going to talk about the emergency shelter, which is what our ESG funding goes to. $45,648.65 comes from the city to help fund our shelter. Our shelter is, I think you can see on the left side of the screen, the individuals that come in self-report a large number of disabling conditions. But the most important one, I think, to look at is the 79%, the last bullet. Report 3 or more conditions, which is a lot of trauma. I mean, if you have 3 or more of these conditions, it takes a while to get to the root cause of your issues. One of the things that we're most proud about is the fact that we serve 653 individuals, and 582 were men and women, but 71 were children coming from 42 families. With our partnering agencies, which a lot of them are on this webinar or Zoom call, I guess, we were able to move 43% of those individuals to permanent housing. And the number is a lot larger if we look at what we call positive housing destinations, which includes going to treatment, which includes moving people to assisted living homes and things like that. Those are, you know, a permanent and or the next step that they need to take. But HUD does not recognize them as permanent housing destinations. But how do we do that? I mean, Stevens Center is an agency, and you can see with some pretty meager funding. We do that. Last year, despite COVID, we had 38,620 community service hours. That's nearly 18 full-time employees. And 46 of those individuals came from internships and practicums from our local colleges, like the College of St. Mary, UNO, Bellevue, Creighton, and virtually the rest of them, a lot of online colleges as well. I think I guess I'd just like to kind of sum up that that when individuals come to Stevens Center, this is where hope happens. And I think our volunteer numbers, the amount of students show that. I think the best way to learn about us is to come visit. I put the number down there for Beth Ellis, or not the number, but her email address, beth.ellis@stephenscenter.org. People that come to visit learn quickly that this is where hope happens, and it inspires people and invites them back over and over again. So if you haven't been to Stephens Center, I would suggest you come and take a tour. If you're not partnering with us, let's partner. Everyone on here sounds like that they have a piece of the puzzle. So all the individuals are different and they need different inputs and different supports. So anyway, thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you so much, Mike. I always appreciate how willing Mike is to partner and to let his staff shine. And the Stephens Center is just such a wonderful resource in our community. Thank you. Wyatt, could we go back to the beginning of the Sienna Francis? Thank you. Michelle, I see that you have re-entered, and if you would like to try giving talking a go again, I will give you your time. We cannot hear you again. Michelle, will you give me a shout just to tell me that you're trying to talk? Okay, Michelle's audio is not working, so I'm gonna go through your slides. And Michelle, if you want to put in the chat, if you have anything you want to add to what I'm saying, or if I say anything incorrectly, I'm more than happy to read it out for you. So Sienna Francis is our largest shelter, as I said. They operated at an average or at an 81% capacity in 2021, providing 138,000 nights of shelter, with 2,561 individuals served. Next slide, please. The Sienna Francis House is receiving an allocation of approximately $167,000. The way that we have traditionally allocated our ESG shelter funds is by nights served. So since they are our largest shelter, they receive the largest chunk of funding. Sienna Francis House's shelter facilities and programs are designed to provide highest quality, lowest barrier services to individuals experiencing homelessness, including shelters, meals, and clothing. Next slide, please.
No barrier that need to be explained.
Oh, if you'd like to, low barrier is a term in the shelter world to indicate that you can stay at Sienna Francis House basically regardless of where you're coming from. So if you have been drinking that night and you need a place to stay, you can still come stay there. Michelle says we don't screen individuals out, so you don't have to meet any requirements to stay at the Sienna Francis House. Anything else that you would like to put in the chat before I move on, Michelle? I'm sorry if I didn't get everything you planned to say. All right, we will move on then. And Michelle did put her contact information in the chat if you would like to reach out with any questions. So we're moving on to Catholic Charities, and I believe we have Jason Cribbs here to talk about the Catholic Charities shelter.
Yes, can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm Jason Cribbs. I am the new interim director over the domestic violence shelter for Catholic Charities. Just to talk a little bit about what we provide. So we run the only dedicated domestic violence shelter in the city of Omaha. Our domestic violence shelter has been in business for over 45 years and counting, fostering for domestic violence clients. So we want to provide is a safe haven for people that's in those domestic violence situations. Our goal is to work with these individuals in a 28-day stay so they can be reintegrated back into the community. But with that being said, a 28-day stay can be extended based on the potential housing or outside resources that may require said individual to stay longer at our shelter. So we also provide an amazing team that is staffed 24/7 to meet our victims' needs, provide not just around-the-clock services, but services used to provide housing and services for reintegration. Our staff provided clothing, toiletries, food, diapers, all in which were from donations throughout the community to help provide that to our residents. So with the ESG, we receive about $11,500 a year. And that's to help us to continue to shelter families who are dealing with domestic violence. We do have a 24/7 crisis hotline. And during the grant period, we answered 656 calls through our 24/7 crisis hotline. That was last year. Our goal is to at least get at 900. All violence is unacceptable. Some violence is life-threatening, but you know, we're trained to collect this information from callers to determine whether they fit our needs to be placed in our domestic violence shelter. So we have a 30-bed, 8-room shelter currently. We are transitioning over to our new shelter, which will be 10 rooms, I believe 38 bed. And that is going to be a huge project. We're very excited for that. We were able to have like a $6.2 million donation. It's going to be an awesome facility. We can place all of our services that we provide for Catholic charities into one, like under one house. So it's more of a one-stop shop for our clients. So we're very, very excited to get that ball up and running for that. And if you know anybody who's dealing with any crisis situations in regards to domestic violence, please have them give us a call, 402-558-5700.
Thank you so much, Jason. We will move on to the Rapid Rehousing Program from Heartland Family Service. And I believe that Rachel Garcia is here to talk.
Hello, yes, I'm Rachel Garcia and I'm a program director over our rapid rehousing programs at Heartland Family Service. We receive funding through the City of Omaha Emergency Solutions Grant to help fund one of our 5 rapid rehousing programs, Heartland Housing Opportunities. Our rapid rehousing program works with individuals and families that are literally homeless, which means that they're either coming from a shelter or a place not meant for habitation. We operate on a housing first model, which means we do not have prerequisites for clients entering our program. And we believe that safe housing is the #1 priority. We can provide services for 1 to 24 months. And the services that we provide are housing search and placement and housing stability case management. So we work with clients to locate safe and suitable housing, and then work with them ongoing to become sustainable in their housing by connecting them to other resources and helping them identify a way to afford housing ongoing. We receive $68,221.32 through the ESG grant, which adds to the $839,695.38 that we receive in additional funding for our Opportunities program. In 2021, we were able to serve 15 individuals through ESG, which contributed to the total number of clients served by the Opportunities program, which was 341 individuals. And go to the next slide. If you would like to know more information about our rapid rehousing programs or any of the other programs that we offer at Heartland Family Service, you can visit our website at www.heartlandfamilyservice.org, and you would click on the Housing, Safety, and Financial Stability icon.
Great, thank you so much, Rachel. And our last presenter for the night is Sue Carson Moore from Together to talk about their rapid rehousing program.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for hanging with us. Last but not least, I'm Sue Carson Moore, and I'm the director of Horizons Housing Stability Program. We receive a little bit over $68,000 from the city of Omaha for our rapid rehousing program through ESG funds. That provides rental assistance for the homeless individuals and families as defined by HUD in categories 1 and 4 for up to 24 months. That can help pay for tenant-based rental assistance, applications, security deposits, rent in arrears that's limited in the last month's rent. It also pays for utility assistance to include utility deposits and payments, and then some utilities in arrears and moving costs. Participants do pay 30% of their income toward the rent, and they have to qualify as low income for 30% AMI. If they have no income, we do pay 100% of their rent while the case managers work to help them find some form of income, whether it's through disability or employment or something such as that. In fiscal year 2021, our ESG funding served 11 households, which was 12 individuals. And I'm proud to say only one of those returned to homelessness. The total that we served with all of our funding sources was 76 households and 82 individuals. Next slide, please. And the goal of our program, of course, is to have people sustain permanent housing that's affordable, or at least move into another program such as OHA or Section 8 that assists them while they're trying to make sure they can stay housed. Our funding also helps with case management. We do housing stability planning, budgeting. We give assistance with applying for Medicare, Medicaid, SSI, SSDI, SNAP, any public benefits. Also, they do connections and referrals to healthcare, mental health, LGBTQIA+ education, employment, financial education, legal, anything they need, really. Many of them just want to be connected with social services sometimes, where they have a place to go during the day and something to do. We also provide aftercare with the program. Our private flexible funding also assists us in providing things such as renter's insurance, which helps our landlords feel a little more secure with renting to us. And transportation, birth certificates and IDs, because they can't get jobs or get housed without those. In order to be able to get hold of our clients, they need phones and phone cards. And when they move in, they're going to need something to sleep on. So we have partnerships also to get furniture, in addition to us purchasing beds, bedding, household supplies, along with some of those donations. Our information, I thought the website, I think it got dropped off the slide, perhaps. Yeah, it got dropped off the slide. But our website is https://togetheromaha.org. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a shout. I'll put my email in the chat.
Thank you so much, Sue. We are at time for more questions. So if you have any questions about anything that we have talked about tonight, now's the time to put them in the chat or in the Q&A. And while you get those together, I'd like to tell you about some upcoming events that we will have. So Ms. B asked about funding opportunities for qualified nonprofits. So we will have soon, I don't have a date for it yet, our 2023 grant workshop.
It will be recorded.
It will be recorded and virtual so that anyone can have access to it. And what that will be is just a workshop on how to apply for 2023 funding. Now, you may notice that we are doing our 2022 action plan at the end of January, and that we don't have our allocations from HUD yet. So the 2023 funding, which is the next available funding source, will not be available until at least January of next year. So that's what you would be applying for right now. Those applications are typically due in April. They will be due April the 8th.
They should be made available the second week of February.
And the applications should be online by the second week of February. So keep an eye on our website for those. We're also going to be having our annual reporting meeting from the CAPER. The CAPER stands for Consolidated Action Planning Evaluation Report. I might have gotten that a little bit wrong. But it's our annual report to HUD about what we accomplished in the previous year, and that will be March 15th. We were looking to have that in person, but it may very well be virtual too. So that's all I have for you for now. So I haven't seen any other questions yet. If you'd like information on what is applicable to apply for, there's a lot of information about that on our website.
Or they can contact me.
Or you can contact Pat Evans at patricia.evans@cityofomaha.org. And I'm putting that in the chat now. So that's the end of what we have for you tonight. Remember that the comment period on the 2019 Action Plan Substantial Amendment ends on Tuesday, February 1st. That is the allocation of CARES Act funds to support the purchase of a non-congregate emergency shelter with Together. And the comment period for the 2022 Action Plan ends on February 27th. We will keep everyone apprised when we get our final allocations from HUD. These are the proposed activities, and if our budget looks significantly different, we may have to make some amendments to the plan once we know how much money we're actually receiving. So please keep an eye out for that and send us your comments. And I will give you another moment to put comment or questions in the chat. And otherwise, we'll see you next time. Thank you all.